In the Mafia and Gang world, disrespect is blood currency, and ego is everything. And payback is the law. A stare can spark a beating. A word can trigger a murder. One wrong move and you're on the pavement bleeding. Stay with me until the end, because you are about to uncover the fatal mistakes of offending a gangster. In the world of outlaw biker gangs, even the smallest sign of disrespect can get you hurt, or worse. And David Martinez, he found that out the hard way. David Martinez was just 25, out for a late-night drive with his friends in the East Village. They were looking for a parking spot when they found one right outside the Hells Angels clubhouse on East 3rd Street. Orange cones marked the curb, a quiet warning to anyone who knew better. But David didn't know better. He got out and moved a cone like it was no big deal. That's all it took. A Hells Angel stepped out from the shadows and told him to put it back. Not a suggestion, a warning. David didn't back down. His friends jumped in, ready to defend him. Big mistake. Suddenly, it turned into a full-on street brawl. More bikers poured out of the clubhouse, and then chaos happened. One brutal shot. Loud, sharp, everything stopped. David stumbled, looked down. Blood was pouring from his stomach. He'd been shot, point blank, no hesitation. His friends threw him into their car, speeding through the night, screaming for help. Doctors saved his life barely. All of it started with one cone. And in gang territory, that's all it takes to get shot. By the time police got there, the shooter was long gone. No names, no arrests. The gang went silent. Street code. That's how it works. The wrong gesture in gangland. Sometimes it doesn't take a gunshot or a fight to get you killed in gang territory. Sometimes all it takes is your hands. Two deaf friends were walking home around dusk, casually signing to each other in American Sign Language. Nothing out of the ordinary, no yelling, no threats, just hands moving in conversation. When Robert Neal, 22, paranoid, and already looking for trouble, saw them and decided in his twisted mind they were throwing gang signs, and instead of minding his business or even asking what was going on, he pulled a kitchen knife and went straight for 45-year-old Terrence Daniels. Terrence didn't even hear him coming, couldn't hear the slurs or the hate. Before he could explain, before he could defend himself, Neal stabbed him straight in the chest and side. Blood started pouring down his shirt as he hit the ground, confused, helpless. While neighbors called 911, and Neal ran off, and Terrence was rushed to the trauma center, fighting for his life. Miraculously, he survived. The reason? Mistaken identity. Neal thought ASL was gang signs. That's all it took. A wrong gesture and a knife to the chest. In gang territory, never underestimate what might be seen as a provocation. A look, a gesture, a color of clothing. Any small wrong move can be explosive. That's exactly what happened to 19-year-old Taven Price in Los Angeles. It was a regular afternoon. Taven wasn't doing anything reckless. He was just stopping at a car wash with his mom. But he was wearing a red shirt and red sneakers, his favorite color. He wasn't trying to make a statement. He wasn't part of any gang. Taven had limited mental capacity and simply liked the way he looked. But in that part of LA, red wasn't just a color. It was a symbol, a rival gang's color. And to the local gang members watching, it was enough to spark confrontation. They walked up to him and asked the question that's claimed too many lives. What set you from? Taven couldn't answer because there was no answer. He wasn't in a set, but that didn't matter. Moments later, they shot him 4 times in the back and chest and left him dying on the pavement. All because of a color. Taven lost his life over a red shirt. One wrong gesture and everything changed. The code of the streets. Unwritten gang rules. Why would a biker nearly kill someone over a traffic cone? Why would gang members shoot a kid over a color or a glance? It sounds insane until you understand the unwritten rules of gang life. In their world, these rules carry more weight than actual laws, and breaking them can get you killed. Rule number 1, no snitching. Talking to police isn't just frowned upon, it's a death sentence. In some neighborhoods, even innocent people stay silent out of fear. The code runs deep, and once you're labeled a snitch, there's no coming back. Rule number 2, never disrespect the gang. That could mean stepping on turf, saying the wrong thing, backing down from a challenge, or touching something that isn't yours, like a Hells Angels patch, or even a traffic cone. Colors matter too. The Bloods wear red, Crips claim blue. On the wrong block, wearing the rival color can get you shot, just like 19-year-old Taven Price, who was gunned down for wearing red in Crip territory. He wasn't a gang member, he just liked the color. But in their eyes, that was enough to justify murder. Some rules pretend to show honor, like no hurting kids or innocent families. The Mafia takes the code to another level. Blood oaths, 10 commandments. Omerta, the vow of silence. Never be seen with cops. Always keep your word. Every mobster swears a blood oath called omerta, vowing absolute silence to authorities. I swear to be faithful. If I betray, my flesh should burn. Respect women and elders. Lie to no one inside the family. Be loyal no matter what. Loyalty over everything. Betray that loyalty and you'll likely disappear. Never look at the wives of friends. Never be seen with cops. Always keep your word. Respect must be given to women and elders. When asked for any information, the answer must be the truth. Cartels live by their own ruthless mantra. Plata o plomo, silver or lead. Take the bribe or take the bullet. There's no in between. Step out of line, lose a shipment, disobey a command, and you might end up in pieces. If there's one thing that drives nearly every real gangster, it's respect, but not the respectful handshake. In the gang world, respect means people fear you. It means no one dares to test you, your crew, or your reputation. Sure, money matters, gangs fight over drug turf and cash every day, but the moment someone feels disrespected, even millions can be thrown aside for revenge. Why? Because in their world, respect is power, and power once lost is blood expensive to get back. Sometimes it's a hand gesture, a shirt color, a glance. In their code, if someone disrespects you and you do nothing, you look weak, and weakness invites predators. Criminologist Jeffrey Rojek explains it's all about status. If someone disrespects you, they're testing your strength. If you don't push back, you lose standing. How to de-escalate danger. So, if you've accidentally provoked a gangster, maybe you bumped into him, stepped on a shoe, or wandered into the wrong turf, then what do? Fighting? Terrible idea unless you're cornered with no escape. And even then, your odds are garbage. Running? Works if you've got a clean path and fast legs, but if neither's an option, you talk, you de-escalate fast. Street survival experts and law enforcement agree to stay calm, keep your hands visible, and speak with respect. First rule, manage your fear. Panic reads like weakness. Aggression makes it worse. Breathe slowly. Steady your voice. Make eye contact. Not a stare down, just enough to say, I see you, I'm not a threat. Let them vent. Let them flood out the rage. Don't interrupt. Don't argue. Nod if needed. If the guy's yelling, you think you're tough, a calm response like, nah man, I get it. I'd be mad too, can flip the script. If things are still heated, offer to make it right. Buy him a drink, pay for the damage. It's not weakness, it's strategy. Respect their ego and silence yours. Let them feel dominant without pushing back. Apologize. Exit. Don't add a final comment. Don't try to prove your point. Just get out, then count your blessings. No-go zones. Places even police avoid. Some places don't need a sign to say, stay out. The streets say it for them. These are no-go zones. Neighborhoods so dominated by gangs or armed militias that even the police think twice before stepping in. In Cité Soleil, Haiti, armed gangs run the streets, and gunfire is constant. Aid workers must negotiate just to enter. In San Salvador and San Pedro Sula, gangs like MS-13 and Barrio 18 enforce their own laws. Tepito in Mexico City is a black market stronghold, where life is said to be worthless. In Cape Town, areas like Ghost Town are so dangerous that even ambulances need escorts. And even in US, cities like Chicago or Baltimore, some blocks are war zones after dark. These places aren't just high crime, they're gang territory. If you wander in by mistake, survival becomes the priority. Know the signs, stay alert, and get out quietly. Sometimes the warning signs are bold graffiti, bandanas, or hard stares from a corner crew. Other times, they're subtle. Gang turf often reveals itself through coded graffiti, like crowned stars or crossed-out tags, coordinated clothing, red for Bloods, blue for Crips, and even how hats or belt buckles tilt. Watch for neighborhoods where everyone has barred windows, guard dogs, or where locals vanish after dark. That tension speaks volumes. A lack of police presence, trash piling up, and broken streetlights all hint you're in semi-lawless territory. If people eye you suspiciously or a stranger quietly tells you to be careful, listen. Never take photos, flash valuables, or talk loudly about how sketchy it looks. Someone's always watching. Defacing gang graffiti or saying the wrong name out loud? Don't. It could cost you. Ex-gangsters say one thing above all: respect the turf. Don't act arrogant, don't flash cash, and never mock the environment. That alone can get you hurt. Dress low-key, skip the flashy gear, and keep your phone tucked away. Avoid gang colors, logos, or hat tilts that signal affiliation. If someone asks, "Where are you from?" stay calm, that's gang code. Say you're not from the area, just passing through. Never get loud or cocky if confronted. Eye contact? Keep it neutral. Don't stare, but don't act terrified either. Survival isn't about toughness. It's about reading the room, showing respect, and knowing when to walk away. Sometimes the smartest move is leaving before it turns deadly. So, what would you do if a gangster stepped up to you? Drop your thoughts below. Thanks for watching. Until the next chapter in the Outlaw Book.